If you want to see me swatch the Norvina Volume 4 Pro Pigment palette, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène and welcome back, or if it's your first time, welcome to HMM Makeup or Makeup. And we are so going to play with makeup today, specifically eyeshadow. And there's a lot in here. I think it's 28. No, it wouldn't be 27. 28. How much is it? 5 times 5, 25 shadows. And what I'm looking at is the inside of the Norvina Volume 4. And I do have the Volume 1, and now I'm going to be swatching the Volume 4. If you want to see the swatches of, I'm pretty sure it's the Volume 1. Yes, it's the Volume 1. I have no idea why I'm doubting myself on this stuff. I know it by heart, but I still have to check. I don't know why. Since I have it out, let me show you the Volume 1, just for comparison. If you haven't really seen these all that much, I have trouble opening them. So this is the Volume 1. So they are quite different. And out of the two, though I haven't swatched it yet, I do think that I'm going to enjoy this one more. Just the color story. I really like the couple of deeper reds that are in there. I like the yellow. That's kind of my jam. So yeah, we will see, though, by swatching this, what I think of it after 25 swatches. And I hope you will be along with me. And there's a decent amount of neutrals in here as well that make it look like it would be pretty useful. And I do think there are 2 glitters in here. I guess we will find out how that is. Now, I think that I'm going to use also 4 fingers, so the index to the pinky for these, because there are quite a few colors. If I think the pinky's not doing a good enough job, I will use a different finger, but that's just stuff I need to know. You don't need to be bothered with that. So let's start swatching, and I will use, because it's 25 shadows, I will use both of my forearms in this video just to make sure that we can catch all of the swatches in one go. And I do appreciate, believe it or not, that this palette and the Volume 4, or Volume 1, does not have any names. It's just A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. It's just so easy to record as opposed to shadow names. Although I do also find shadow names endearing and fun and part of the creative process. So these are more intended for heavy use with multiple types of applications. So I can see why they dispensed with the names, and I'm fine with that. So we are going to start from top to bottom, left to right. So I'm going to swatch A1 to A4 right off the top. So let's get going on those. I'm not going to get fancy. I do really like that first color. It's like my 2 favorite things. It's like metallic green and metallic gold together. So that is beautiful. And of course, a purpley pink is gorgeous as well. Oh boy, I know I'm going to like this palette. Here are the first 4, so let's swatch those. Yeah, it shows up more gold than green though. My fingers are so dry. I've been swatching a lot today. Oh, that is a fuchsia. Those 2 would look really nice together. And let's see how the pinky's doing on that brown. Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Okay, so those are the first 4. I'm not mad at those. I am going to double swatch though, as I always do. And I always show the fingers because I think the fingers show you a better idea of what it's going to look like on the eye. But the swatches on the arm still give you a sense of how the, especially the mattes, how they're going to spread and blend. Oh, I love those first 2. The fuchsias I have a lot in my collection, but the shimmers I just always so enjoy. So that is the first 4. Those are absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. Nice. Okay, I'm going to wipe off my fingers. We'll go for the next 4. Okay, so we have A5 back here, and we're going to go for the first 3 in this row. So A5 and B1 to 3 is what we're doing next. All right, and A5 and B1 are quite shimmery. Oh, the B1 looks more like a satin. And then 2 mattes, B2 and B3. Okay, so here's what we're dealing with. Very neutral for these next ones. Oh, it's a peach. Okay, nice. Boy, those 2 would look good together for sure. And that's more on the gold side. And that one is right up my alley. And then the pinky, which is more of a rusty brown. Okay, so those are not hugely pretty. So we're going to go in as usual with a second go. I'm not minding those shimmers. They're basic, but if you're looking for a basic look, but with a nice, just a nice little something extra, I think that they are pretty. This one in particular looks interesting. Okay. Yeah, this second one is really, really smooth. The pinky's doing an okay job on those. Okay. All right, so that is the second set of 4. And so far, it's looking like quite a neutral palette, isn't it? I'm not mad at that. I think it looks really, really nice. Okay, next up, we are finishing up the B row with B4 and 5, and we'll be doing C1 and 2 as well. So that is what we're going to next. So some browns and some pinks. And I am having a lot of fun with this palette. A lot of fun with this palette. I thought it was going to fall on me. And I'm going to just lift up that sleeve and let's get to swatching. Okay, that's kind of similar to some of what we've already seen, but there's more shimmer to it. And that is a beautiful cool tone brown. That's kind of my jam. And that is a very, very light shimmer. Let's see if it builds up. Oh, is that ever a bright pink? Woo! Makes me think of a pink in one of those Norvina mini palettes. Okay, let's do a second go of those 4. I'm really liking B5. That cool brown is gorgeous. There's a lot of kick up from that fuchsia. A ton of kick up. Okay, that looks better. That's why double swatching is a good idea. It gives you a good idea of how the shadow builds on itself. And then that fuchsia that is a crumbly mess. Really crumbly. Okay, here we go. The camera will cooperate. So that is the first set of 12 eyeshadows. And so it is going to be 12 on this arm and 13. No, you know what? I'm going to do one more. Okay, I had to blow the excess off this particular shadow because it was dropping into the yellow and this one and it causing a bit of a mess. So I just wanted to let you know I did that. Okay, so yeah, that contamination isn't pretty. It's really getting into a bunch of other shadows. Okay, I patted off the excess from that pink to try to minimize the amount of contamination it's causing into other pans. It's made it into 3 pans so far, 3 adjacent pans. So I'm going to do, as I said, this last one here on the one forearm that we've been using. And it's a very pretty color. This is kind of an Urban Decay color to me. Urban Decay loves pinky purples. Gosh, that looks like asphyxia. Something like that. There's a number of kind of purpley pinks or pinky blues in the Urban Decay line. So it could be a sister color to a bunch of those. But I do very much like that kind of an effect. So I'm happy with having swatched that last one on that side. Look at that finger. I'm happy it got its own time in the sun. It's a beautiful color. If you're into purples like that, and it's right in the center of the palette, almost like they wanted to showcase it, right? It's right in the middle. Go figure. Okay, now we are going to be swatching with the other hand because, well, I will, the royal we, because we're switching to this arm. And it's 4 mattes that we're going to be starting off with. So I've got these 2 over here, and then the kind of tan and yellow. So that is going to be an interesting set of 4. I do like that lilac color. It makes sense that it's next to that bluish purple that we were talking about. The kind of flamingo color in this palette as well. I've been swatching over the last number of days. A lot of flamingo type colors is what I call kind of a fiery pink. So here is the first 4, or here are. Okay, that is a very pretty lilac color, and I've been into the idea of lilac colors recently. Wow, that I actually kind of like that one for flamingo pink. It looks good. It's a little bit less coral in that one. And that tan color is very nice, and I think it's going to look good next to that yellow that's next. Okay, that's a decent yellow. I wouldn't call it a neon yellow, but it's a nice canary yellow. Okay, going a second time in those 4 colors. I'm going to double swatch everything as usual. I'm glad that yellow is a nice one because it certainly is a pop of color in that palette, and it would be disappointing if it weren't meeting expectations. You are going to see some colors, some looks with this color. I have a lilac eyeshadow that I am trying to finish, and so it's nice to see that as I'm swatching this, I'm enjoying the lilac because I'm going to be using that kind of shadow quite a bit, I think. And there are those first 4, and they are delightful as a first quad of color on that side. Beautiful. Okay, I like how the second forearm is starting. I'm going to wash off those fingers and let's go with the next set. Okay, there are 2 more sets of 4. So we're doing these last 3 in the D row and 1 down here. I think that's another set of 4 shadows that are going to look pretty good together, swatched together. And the pink. Okay, that's an interesting set of colors. This one would go well with that blue purple as well. Nice. Can you tell I've got a combo in my mind? Okay, so that's a nice neutral shimmer. That is a very soft color, soft pink. And a terracotta brown. Not my favorite, but it does look great on a bunch of people. And then a very neon-y pink. Okay, not bad for a first pass on those 4. And let's see the fingers. That is brilliant. Look at how beautiful that is. I like most of these. Very nice. Okay, let's go in for seconds. Okay. See how these swatch a second time. They look pretty good the first time around, and this one is a no-brainer. We knew it was going to look good. Let's see how this one builds up. And this one almost doesn't need it. And finally, this one I really hope builds up nicely. Oh yeah, oh, hang on. I feel like I dragged most of the color down. Okay, so there are those 4, and I think that the fingers are a lot better for these 4 compared to the swatches. You look at those first 2, right? That is just liquid metal. That would actually not be a bad pairing. Those are very, very pretty. As a matter of fact, if I were to do this, look at those 2 together. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, it's just they're neat. And then these 2, I think, would go really well together. It feels like I'm doing rock and roll signs of some sort. All right, I'm going to wipe these off, and we have just one last set. We have one last set, and we're done with the swatches. We could take a look at the whole thing, which is my favorite part. It's like the dessert of the swatching. All right, so let's just take a look before I get ahead of myself. These are the last 4 that we're doing here. The E-row, and we're done. And I do believe, almost swatched with the wrong hand because I'm excited. I do believe these 2, yeah, I think they're glitters. Oh, they're definitely glitters. Not a big fan. Although if you like glitters, they do look like they would be nice. I've said in a previous video, I'm nervous about glitters. You need to use a pretty darn good glue to feel any kind of security with those things on your eyes. It is beautiful though. Holy cow, it's beautiful. Wish they weren't so pretty. This one's chunkier, apparently. And then the last 2 shadows. Oh gosh, I love these kinds of colors. For green eyes, these are beautiful. And finishing with a real punch of color. Okay, I'm going to do a second swatch of those 4. Those last 4, and of course glitters don't look quite the same on the fingers as they do in the swatch, obviously, because most of it comes out. But this first glitter looks like it has a pretty colorful base, so it's not dependent entirely on the glitter, whereas the second glitter looks like it has a clear base. So it'd be more like a topper, I think, for another color. For example, the topper onto that burgundy that we just swatched. And then that fuchsia. Well, it's not fuchsia, it's bright pink. What am I talking about? It's not a fuchsia. It's just, in my viewfinder, makes it look more purple. Okay, so that glitter is really, really nice, I have to admit. This one I'm going to try to tap the second layer on as opposed to dragging. That is how we would apply glitter anyway. The burgundy is beautiful, and the hot pink as well. Now the burgundy looks a little patchy. I think some of the stickiness of that glitter got into the swatch, and I think the finger is a better indication. But yeah, I do like the base on this one. It's really pretty. It's almost like that glitter melts into itself. But this one does stay really chunky, so I would be less concerned about this one compared to this one. Just in my opinion of just feeling the texture and feeling how it applies. It doesn't feel like it's coming off anywhere. Yeah. Anyway, those are the last swatches, so I'm going to just get rid of everything on my hands, and let's take a look at the whole stack all together. Okay, let's take a look. Pink and beigey brown are the the themes, I think. with a side order of purples and peach. I think that's how I would sum it up. Yeah, pinks and browns, some purples and peach. That's pretty much it, with a pop of yellow. But I don't mind it. And I'm a colorful girl in all senses of the word, but I have to say, I really, really like this color story. I really, really do. And I hope that I have been showing you these on camera. Let me just do this. That way you can see it for sure. And I just look creepy looking through my forearms here. Yeah, the only one I don't quite understand is that warm terracotta. Like this one right here. Don't know about that one, but everything else really looks like it fits. What would I have done with that warm terracotta? If I were to, just looking at the arms here, if I were to make a change, I think I would have gone with an eggplant color. There you go, I said it, an eggplant color. I would take that terracotta out and put in an eggplant, like a deep, deep purple, aubergine purple. Aubergine means eggplant. So yeah, a deep, deep, rich purple I think would have looked really good. Yeah, that's what comes to mind. I don't quite get the terracotta, but maybe they just wanted to have enough neutrals that if somebody's dabbling into color, they feel like they've got enough browns, beiges, cooler browns to work with. But overall, I'm very excited by this color story. Overall, yeah. I think it's got enough color, but you know, when you think purple and pink, when you mix it up with neutrals, you can end up with kind of a neutral look. So this palette, as I have something in my eye, this palette feels like mostly a neutrals palette with pops of pink and purple, really, in that one yellow. It's really a neutral, lover-friendly palette. Like neutral lover, but who wants to play with color at the edges. And I would, based on what I'm seeing, I would recommend this for a lot of people with just some caution over the glitters. But apart from that, I think it's a really solid, fun, interesting palette. I can't wait to use it. That's what the swatches have done for me. I can't wait to use it. And I didn't have the same go-getter want to use this palette with the Norvina one, the Norvina Volume 1. So, and I actually didn't, just if you don't know the history, I actually didn't order the Norvina Volume 1. It was sent to me by accident, and ABH said, because I told them what happened, and they said, oh, don't bother sending it back, just keep it. So that's why I have the Volume 1. Volume 4 I picked out myself. And that might be why it's getting an unfair, like, oh, well, I know I'm going to use this one compared to the one, because the one was an accident. So, and it has more purples. That's the funny part. There are more purples in this one. So I should be going after this one a whole lot. Purples and yellows are kind of my jam. But maybe it's just too many blues in there, and I'm not huge on blue eyeshadow. I think I can do some nice blue eyeshadow looks, but they're not eyeshadows I tend to go for. So yeah, it's very interesting that the 4 is way, way more interesting than this one, purple being my favorite color. Anyway, that's it for the Norvina 1 swatches. I hope you enjoyed the swatch fest of this palette today. Let me know what you think of the colors. Do you think I'm kind of reasonably, I think it's this way. Do you think I'm reasonably assessing this palette? Do you think I'm off my rocker? What would your editorial notes be on this palette if you were to judge it? I would love to hear what you have to say, because after all, we are not all the same, and I do love to hear other people's preferences and why. So if you want to share those in the comments, I would really appreciate it. And with that, I will say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.